So what are people really looking for when they come to a story, when they come to your comic book to read it? And I want to play a little game with you to help you understand what I'm thinking of. So this is a business metaphor that I heard a long time ago that I don't remember the source for, but I'll give it to you now. People aren't looking for a shovel because they like a metal spoon on top of a wooden stick. They want a hole in the ground. I'll do you another. People don't buy a pill because they like little white flavorless dots that they can put in their mouth and drink with water. They want pain relief. So now apply this to comic books. People aren't buying comic books because they like having a stack of paper with words and drawings on it. People are buying and I'll give you a second to guess. People are buying an emotional experience. They're buying the feeling that your comic book will give them when they read it. So when they pick up specific comic books, they have a certain experience that they're looking for based on the cover. They're looking for a certain emotional experience that your story can give them. When people look at the cover of Saintly, they see, okay, so there's demons and then there's two girls that are running from them. Maybe there's a friendship between the two girls and they have to find a way to escape these demons. So maybe perhaps it's some sort of supernatural horror action comedy webcomic, maybe? I don't know. It's anyone's guess. But when people see the cover of the comic, that's what they're looking for. The more you realize what people are actually looking for when they're coming to your story, the deeper you can understand their psychology and the better you can deliver the emotional experience that somebody would be looking for. I'll watch videos like there's Japanese videos where they're talking about like how to sell as an illustrator. And one of the videos gave me one of the best examples that I've ever heard in terms of why people buy something, why people buy certain stories. And I'll tell you what I heard, and I'll drop the link in the description so you can also see the video. Because he was talking about why manga sells to begin with. And he said it's because it solves a problem or it serves a purpose. And the specific example that he gave was of isekai manga, where isekai manga, if you notice, almost every single one follow the same formula. A guy with a sucky life in Earth, like this original world, dies or is thrown into a new world where all of the gaming skills or all of the knowledge that he had in the previous world is now suddenly coming to use in a world that is nothing but what he was doing on that previous world. And the way this creator, Naoki SAITO is his name, he said when you get into the mind of a reader of one of those isekai manga, you understand that their life, the life that they're living, they probably experience daily life as a drag, that they would prefer to escape into a fantasy where they are needed, where they are useful, where all their skills come into use. He talks about how in their actual life, they may not feel good about who they are. Like nobody talks to them. They don't go out much. They don't talk to many people. And they don't feel like life is worth living, at least the life that they have now. And what they would really like is some magical thing to happen to give their life a redo where they can start over fresh and build their life up from the start to be really good, to be something worth living and experiencing every single day. And so they gravitate towards stories like the isekai genre, where it seems to intimately understand their psychology and their experience as this person who really hates their life as it is, but deep down they desperately want to change and improve. And so it gives them a character that they can project themselves onto, who dies, goes to another world. And so it serves a purpose. Like, it's solving a problem where it's giving them this sort of vicarious feeling of leveling up, of having good relationships, of becoming a better person, of making money, or, living the life that they wish they could have lived on Earth. And so that's why those stories sell so well, because it taps into almost a societal issue or a societal wrong, and gives the reader basically a band-aid or a lollipop to suck on. Like, it's not really solving the problem, but it's fulfilling a need. It's fulfilling, like, hey, I want to at least vicariously experience this thing through this character. And that's how you have to think when you're trying to sell your stories or trying to create a story that will sell, because you have to get into the psychology of your potential reader and really understand, like, what are they missing in life? What gets them excited? What turns them off? What makes them angry? What keeps them up at night? All of these things, if you understand that about your reader, especially if it's things that you experience yourself, then you'll be able to cater to that audience better than anyone else can. This is the same for shonen manga, where the shonen protagonist starts off at a position of weakness. They're usually shorter than everybody else. They're usually weaker than everybody else, or they find some way to get stronger, to level up, to improve their life, to get better relationships, to find a way out of the low part of their life, to get up higher. And there's a few different types of shonen protagonists that I'll get into in a later video, because not all shonen protagonists are like that. Some are actually already strong, and it's basically just a matter of them protecting what they found, or the family that they found. But whenever younger boys read shonen manga, they're looking for that experience of a young boy like them going out into the world, going on adventures, getting stronger, finding things that make them improve their life and become better. So the boys that read shonen get the experience that they're looking for out of the characters that they read about, like Naruto, like Deku, like Luffy, like Goku. There's so many people that have gone into the gym because of Goku, and the example that he set. So this is how you have to think when you're crafting your stories. What is the emotional experience that my reader will get by the end of the story? How can I craft a sequence of events that is able to deliver what my reader is looking for in the story that I'm writing? And this is just a matter of commercialism. This is not mandatory to focus on at all whatsoever. If you want to do webcomics, focus on whatever you think is cool. Do that. Please do that, because this is a more or less hardcore business practice, more or less marketing tactic, more or less a way to create manga that sells, or a way to create comics that sell, because you know the audience and what they're looking for. The reason American comics are drawn the way they're drawn, with fully rounded characters that look three-dimensional on the page, with muscles bulging, is because that's what the mainstream American consciousness is looking for in their stories. So they expect these things to be in their comic books, and that's why it's there. Whereas the Japanese sensibility is looking for different things, and so they're going to be drawn in a completely different style that emphasizes more of a emotionality over, bulging muscles. They're going to emphasize more thought-provoking content and focus on telling a story that moves you emotionally for the most part. So yeah, I hope that was a good primer on how you have to think about creating your comic if you intend to sell it. Because if you're not intending to sell it, just make whatever you want and have fun with it. Enjoy it. Me, if I wasn't so focused on making a comic that sells, I would be just drawing whatever I want. I would just be drawing a lot of, like, I guess, liminal space stuff. And I try to put that in my work as much as possible, but I would be drawing a lot of liminal space stuff. I wouldn't be trying to do this overarching story. I'd probably be a painter or something like that. You know, I'd just do all that. But if you're starting off in comics, you have to focus really heavily on making it commercially viable so that later on you can do things that come to mind, like the things that you would actually want to do. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you want to check out my latest webcomic, it's a supernatural horror called Saintly. It is a demon chase horror action comedy about two best friends who have to outrun the demon loan sharks that they borrowed from. Basically, it's like Scooby-Doo meets K-pop Demon Hunters without the K-pop. And the story backs the main character into a corner where she has to decide between the hard path to success or lose her soul to the lure of easy money. And we get to see the ramifications of her choice and if she can hide this deal with the devil from her friend or if it will tear them apart. And I hope you read my comic in the description and check out the story. It should appear in your email inbox or your spam folder if you don't see it. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.